The silence of deep space was broken by a weak signal that came through the darkness like a whisper. Captain Lisa Morgan sat in the command chair of the human ship New Horizon, watching the stars through the main screen. She had been on patrol for 3 months now, checking empty space for signs of life or danger. The ship was not large compared to the war vessels back on Earth, but it was fast and well built. Lisa had handpicked her crew of 25 men and women who knew how to handle themselves in the unknown regions of space. They were explorers, scientists, and soldiers all rolled into one. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," said Ben Hayes from his station. He was the communications officer, a young man with sharp eyes and quick fingers on the controls. "It's very faint, but it's definitely artificial." Lisa stood up and walked over to his station. "What kind of signal?" "It's repeating on multiple frequencies. Someone really wants this message to be heard." Ben worked his controls, and the crackling static filled the bridge. Through the noise, words began to form. "This is the Zephyrian colony of Kepler 442b. We are under attack by the Ravager fleet. Our defenses have failed. If any sentient species receives this message, please help us. We cannot fight. We do not know how to fight. Our people are dying." The message cut to static, then started again from the beginning. Lisa felt her heart beat faster. In all her years of space exploration, she had never heard a distress call from an alien species. "Ben, can you get a location on that signal?" "Already. Working on it, Captain. It's coming from the Kepler 442 system. That's about 6 months away at maximum speed." Dr. Alex Carter looked up from his science station. He was a thin man with gray hair who had spent his life studying alien life forms, though he had never actually met one. "Captain, if they're calling themselves Zephyrians, they must have some kind of organized society. The signal is in perfect English, which means they've been studying our broadcasts." Lisa nodded. The idea that aliens had been watching Earth was not new, but it was still strange to think about. "What do we know about their system?" "Kepler 442b is a planet in the habitable zone of a quiet star. The planet gets steady light and heat, no dangerous solar flares or extreme weather. It would be a very peaceful place to live." "And someone is attacking them?" Lisa walked back to her chair. "Then open a channel to Earth Command, Priority 1. The main screen changed to show Admiral Jake Sullivan sitting behind his desk on Earth. The Admiral was an older man. With scars on his face from the border wars 20 years ago, he did not look happy to be woken up. "Captain Morgan, this better. Be important. It's 3 in the morning here." "Sir, we've received a distress call from an alien species. They're under attack and asking for help." The Admiral's tired expression changed to one of full attention. "Play it." Lisa nodded to Ben, who sent the signal through to Earth. They all listened to the desperate message again. When it finished, the Admiral was quiet for a long moment. 6 months, he said finally. "By the time any help gets there, they'll be dead." "Sir, I request permission to respond to their distress call. Lisa, you have 1 ship and 25 people. You don't even know what you're flying into." "This Ravager fleet could have 100 ships." "That's true, sir, but someone is asking for help," the Admiral sighed. "You know what happened to the last ship that tried to be heroes in unknown space? The Yorktown never came back." Lisa knew the story. The Yorktown had responded to what they thought was a distress signal and had flown into a trap. All hands were lost. But this felt different. The fear in the alien voice was real. "Sir, these beings say they don't know how to fight. They're calling." "Yes, because they have no other choice," Dr. Carter spoke up. "Admiral, the technology in their transmission is very advanced. If they're asking for help, whatever is attacking them must be truly dangerous." The Admiral looked at both of them through the screen. "And you think 1 human ship can make a difference?" "I think we have to try," Lisa said. "If we don't, we'll never know if we could have saved them." The Admiral was quiet again. Lisa knew he was thinking about the risks, the cost, and the chance of success. Finally, he spoke. "You have permission to respond, but I want constant updates. If this turns into a suicide mission, I want to know about it." "Understood, sir." The Screen went dark, and Lisa turned to her crew. Ben, send a response to the Zephyrians. What should I say? Tell them help is coming. Tell them to hold on. Ben typed quickly, and his voice filled the bridge as he spoke into the transmitter. Zephyrian Colony, this is Captain Lisa Morgan of the human vessel New Horizon. We have received your distress call. Help is coming. Hold on. The message shot out into space toward the distant planet. Lisa hoped it would reach them in time to give them hope. Dr. Carter walked over to her. Captain, I should tell you something about their planet. Kepler 442b is what we call a garden world. Perfect climate, no predators, no natural disasters. If they evolved there, they might be very different from us. Different how? They might not understand violence at all. They could be physically fragile, used to peace and safety. The idea of war might be completely foreign to them. Lisa thought about this. Earth was not a garden world. Humans had evolved fighting ice ages, earthquakes, hurricanes, and dangerous animals. War was something they understood very well, so we might be exactly what they need, she said. Or exactly what they fear, Alex replied. Think about it. They're calling us for help, but they don't know what humans are like. They don't know that we come from a world where everything tries to kill us. Lisa looked out at the stars again. The New Horizon was already changing course, heading toward the distant system where aliens were crying out for help. Her crew was preparing for a journey that would take them farther from home than any human had ever gone before. Troy, how are our weapons? She asked her tactical officer. Commander Troy Williams looked up from his station. He was a big man with steady hands and a calm voice. All systems are green, Captain. We're carrying standard armaments for a survey ship. Nothing fancy, but we can defend ourselves. What about against a fleet? That depends on the fleet. If they're used to fighting enemies like the Zephyrians, they might not be ready for us, Lisa nodded. She was starting to understand something important. The Zephyrians had called for help from anyone who would listen. They had no way of knowing that their message would reach a species that had spent thousands of years learning how to fight. Set course for Kepler 442b, she ordered. Maximum speed. Course laid in, Captain, said the pilot. 6 months to destination. As the New Horizon jumped to faster-than-light speed, Lisa wondered what they would find when they arrived. Would they be too late? Would they find a dead world, or would they find aliens who needed the help that only humans could provide? The stars streaked past the windows as the ship raced through space toward a world in trouble. Behind them, Earth grew smaller and smaller until it disappeared. Ahead of them lay the unknown, and somewhere in that darkness, people were dying. While calling out for help, Lisa had made her choice. The New Horizon would answer that call, no matter what waited for them at the end of their journey. The New Horizon had been traveling for 2 weeks when the next message arrived. Lisa was in her quarters trying to sleep when Ben's voice came through the ship's communication system. Captain to the bridge. We're receiving another transmission. From the Zephyrians. Lisa pulled on her uniform and hurried to the bridge. The crew was already gathered around Ben's station, listening to the alien voice that came through the speakers. Human vessel New Horizon, we thank you for your response. We are grateful that someone heard our call. We must tell you about our attackers. The Ravager fleet has 50 ships. They move from world to world, taking everything they can use. They do not talk. They do not negotiate. They simply take what they want and leave nothing behind. The message paused, and Lisa could hear what sounded like crystal chimes in the background. The alien voice continued. We have studied your data. Transmissions to learn your language. We know you call yourselves humans. We know you come from a world you call Earth. We must warn you. Our analysis of your planet frightens us. Your world is what we call a death world. How do you survive on such a dangerous place? Dr. Carter looked at Lisa with surprise. They're afraid of Earth? The alien voice kept talking. Your planet has violent storms, dangerous animals, and natural disasters. Your people have fought wars for thousands of years. We do not understand how you live with such violence. We are peaceful beings, we have never known war, we have never known fear until now. The message ended and the bridge was quiet. Lisa looked at her crew and saw the same confusion on their faces that she felt. Ben, can you clean up that signal? I want to hear every word clearly. Already working on it, Captain. Give me a few minutes. Dr. Carter pulled up information about the Kepler 442 system on his screen. Captain, I've been studying their planet. It's exactly what they say, a perfect world. The temperature never changes more than a few degrees. There are no storms, no earthquakes, no dangerous animals. It's like a paradise. And they evolved there, Lisa said, beginning to understand. They've never had to fight for anything. That's right. Look at this. Alex put the planet's information on the main screen. Kepler 442b has 2 small moons that keep the planet stable. The star is older and calmer than our sun. There are no ice ages, no meteor impacts, no volcanic activity. Everything is peaceful. Troy Williams looked up from his tactical station. Captain, if they've never fought a war, they probably don't have any weapons. None at all, Alex agreed. Why would they need weapons? They've never had predators, never had resource wars, never had any reason to develop military technology. Lisa walked to the front of the bridge and looked out at the stars. So, when this Ravager fleet showed up, they had no way to defend themselves. Exactly, they're probably as helpless as children. Ben's voice interrupted them. Captain, I've got the signal cleaned up. There's more. The alien voice came through the speakers again, clearer this time. We have analyzed your historical data broadcasts. We see that you have survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, and global wars. Your species has faced extinction many times, but you always survive. We do not understand how this is possible. Lisa smiled grimly, because we're too stubborn to die. The voice continued. We call you the Deathworlders because you come from a world that should have killed you long ago. We are afraid of you, but we are more afraid of the Ravagers. We hope that beings who have survived so much death can help us avoid it. The message ended, and Lisa turned to her crew. They're afraid of us, but they're asking for our help anyway. Captain, said Dr. Carter, I think I understand what's happening here. They've never met a species like us. To them, we must seem like monsters. But they're so desperate that they're willing to ask monsters for help. Lisa thought about this. Humans had always known they lived on a dangerous world, but they had never thought of themselves as monsters. They were just people who had learned to survive. Ben, have we received any more information about these Ravagers? Yes, Captain. The Zephyrians sent us tactical data. The Ravager fleet has 50 ships, like they said. The ships are big and heavily armed. They've been moving through this part of space for about 10 years, attacking worlds and taking their resources. What kind of resources? Everything. Metals, crystals, energy sources, even organic matter. They strip a planet bare and then move on to the next one. Troy looked at his tactical display. Captain, 50 ships against 1. Those aren't good odds. No, they're not. But maybe we don't need to fight all 50 ships. Dr. Carter walked over to Lisa. Captain, I've been thinking about what the Zephyrians sighed. They've been studying our broadcasts, learning about Earth. They know we're from a dangerous world, but they don't really understand what that means. What do you mean? They see the violence, the wars, the natural disasters, but they don't see what those things taught us. They don't understand that living on a death world made us creative, adaptable, and tough. We don't just survive, we find ways to win, Lisa nodded slowly. And the Ravagers probably don't understand either. That's right. They're used to attacking peaceful worlds with no defenses. They've probably never met a species that fights back effectively. Ben spoke up from his station. Captain, I'm getting another message. This one is different. Put it through. A new voice came through the speakers. This one was harder, more mechanical. This is Ravager Command to unknown vessel. You are approaching our operation zone. Turn back or be destroyed. Lisa looked at Troy. Did they scan us? Yes, Captain. They. No, we're here. What do they see when they look at us? One small ship with basic weapons. They probably think we're not a threat. Lisa smiled. Good, Ben. Send them a response. What should I say? Tell them we're just passing through. We don't want any trouble. Ben sent the message and they waited. The response came quickly. Unknown vessel, you will not interfere with our harvesting operation. The world below belongs to us now. Leave immediately. Lisa looked at her crew. They were all watching her, waiting for orders. These were good people, trained soldiers and scientists who had followed her into unknown space to help strangers. Ben, open the channel to the Zephyrians. Channel open, Captain. Zephyrian colony, this is Captain Morgan. We are approaching your system. We see the Ravager fleet. We want you to know that humans don't give up easily. We're going to help you, but we need to do it our way. Captain Morgan, came the reply. We do not understand. You have one ship? They have 50? How can you help us? Lisa thought about her answer. How could she explain to beings who had never known violence that sometimes the best way to win a fight was not to fight fair? We're going to teach them why. You don't attack a Deathworld species, she said finally. The bridge was quiet for a moment. Then Dr. Carter spoke up. Captain, I think I know what you're planning. You're not going to fight them ship to ship. That's right. We're going to fight them human style, Troy grinned. Dirty, sneaky, and creative. Exactly. The Ravagers are expecting to fight helpless Zephyrians. They're not expecting to fight humans. They don't know what we're capable of. Lisa looked out at the stars ahead of them. Somewhere in that darkness, aliens were dying while other aliens harvested their world. The Ravagers thought they were safe because they had more ships and bigger guns. They were about to learn that. Sometimes the most dangerous enemy was the one that didn't fight fair. All hands, this is the captain, Lisa said into the ship's communication system. We're approaching a combat situation. We're going to save the Zephyrians, but we're going to do it our way. Remember, we're not just representing ourselves out here. We're representing Earth and everyone who ever lived on our dangerous little world. She turned to her crew. Let's show them what Deathworlders can do. The New Horizon dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. Lisa stood on the bridge looking at the main screen, and what she saw made her heart sink. The planet below was beautiful. It glowed with a soft blue light, and she could see crystal formations that looked like cities scattered across the surface. But around the planet, 50 dark ships moved in formation like sharks circling their prey. My God, whispered Dr. Carter. Look at the size of those ships. The Ravager vessels were enormous. Each one was at least 10 times bigger than the New Horizon. Their hulls were black metal covered with strange symbols, and they bristled with weapons. Ben, are you picking up any transmissions from the planet? Lisa asked. Yes, Captain. The Zephyrians are still broadcasting. They're asking for help, but their signals are getting weaker. Lisa could see why. Even as she watched, bright beams of light shot down from the Ravager ships to the planet's surface. Where the beams hit, the crystal cities began to dissolve and flow upward into the ships like glowing rivers. They're mining the cities, Troy said grimly. They're taking everything. Ben, can you get me a direct line to the Zephyrians? Working. On it, Captain. Got it. A new voice came through the speakers. It was different from the previous messages, more musical but filled with fear. This is Elder Crystalline Zong of Stars of the Zephyrian Council, who speaks to us. This is Captain Lisa Morgan of the human ship New Horizon. We're here to help. You came, the Elder said, and Lisa could hear amazement in the alien voice. The Deathworlders actually came. But there is only one of you. The Ravagers have 50 ships. We know. Where are your people now? We have moved our population to the deep crystal caves beneath the northern continent. The Ravagers cannot reach us there yet, but they are trying. They will break through our barriers soon. Lisa looked at Troy. How long do you think those caves will hold? If the Ravagers are using mining equipment, maybe a few days. Not long. Elder, Lisa said, we need to understand something. Are all of your people in those caves? Yes, all 2 million of. US, we have no weapons, no way to fight back. We can only hide and hope. 2 million people, Lisa thought, all hiding in caves while their world was being destroyed above them. She had to find a way to save them. Captain, Ben said quietly, the Ravagers are hailing us. Put them through. A harsh voice filled the bridge. Unknown vessel you are in. Violation of our claimed territory. Identify yourself. This is Captain Morgan of the New Horizon. We're explorers from Earth. Earth? There was a pause. We have no record of this world. You will leave immediately or be destroyed. Lisa looked at her crew. They were all watching her, waiting to see what she would do. She thought about the 2 million Zephyrians hiding in the dark caves below, and she made her decision. Negative. Ravager Command, we're not leaving. The silence stretched out for several seconds. Then the harsh voice came back, angry now. You have one small ship. We have 50. You cannot stop us. Maybe not, but we're going to try. Then you will die. With the Crystal Dwellers, the transmission ended, and Lisa turned to her crew. Well, that went about as expected. Troy, what are we looking at tactically? Troy studied his displays. Each of their ships has at least 4 times our firepower. They're slower than us, but they don't need to be fast. They can just sit there and shoot at us until we're dead. What about their formation? They're spread out around the planet, probably to maximize their mining efficiency. They're not expecting a fight, Lisa nodded. That's their first mistake. Ben, can you analyze their communications? Already on it, Captain. They're using basic military frequencies. No encryption, no security protocols. They're not worried about anyone listening in. That's their second mistake. Alex, what can you tell me about their technology? Dr. Carter had been studying the sensor readings. Their ships are powerful but simple. They're built for mining and cargo transport, not for fighting small, fast ships. They're like bulldozers trying to swat flies. Good, Katie. How are our engines? Chief Engineer Katie Brooks looked up from her station. Running at full efficiency, Captain? We can outrun any of those ships easily. Lisa walked to the center of the bridge. Here's what we're going to do. We're not going to fight them ship to ship. We're going to fight them human style. What does that mean? Asked Ben. It means we're going to make them think we're more dangerous than we actually are. Humans have been doing that for thousands of years. Troy, I want you to prepare a data package. What kind of data? Everything. Human history, Earth's natural disasters, our wars, our survival stories. I want them to see what kind of world we come from. Troy looked confused. Captain, why would we give them intelligence about ourselves? Because sometimes the best weapon is fear, Ben. While Troy is working on that, I want you to hack into their communications network. Hack into 50 ships? Captain, that's impossible. No, it's not. You said they have no security protocols. They've never fought anyone who knew how to use their technology against them. Lisa turned to Katie. I need you to prepare the mining charges we use for asteroid surveys. How many? All of them. Katie's eyes widened. Captain, those charges are designed to break apart asteroids. If we use them as weapons, they'll do a lot more damage than our regular weapons. The Ravagers won't be expecting mining equipment to be used in combat. Lisa looked at her crew. They were beginning to understand her plan. Marcus, I need you to plot a course through their formation. Something crazy that no sane pilot would try. Pilot Marcus Webb grinned. I can do crazy, Captain. Good, Elder. Lisa said, speaking to the Zephyrians again. We're going to start our attack soon. I need you to do something for us. What can we do? We have no weapons, no way to help you fight. You have something better. You have knowledge. I want you to scan our ship and broadcast what you find to the Ravager fleet. I do not understand. Tell them what we are. Tell them we're from a death world. Tell them what that means. Make them afraid. There was a long pause. Then the elder spoke again, and Lisa could hear a new tone in the alien voice. It was almost like admiration. You are going to use our fear of you as a weapon against them. That's right. They think they're fighting one small ship. We're going to show them they're fighting something much more dangerous. Lisa turned to Troy. Is that data package ready? Yes, Captain. It's got everything. The meteor that killed the dinosaurs, the ice ages, the world wars, natural disasters, everything that makes Earth dangerous. Good, Ben. Are you into their communications? I'm in, Captain. I can broadcast to all 50 ships at once. Do it. Send them the data package and let them see what humans are capable of. Ben's fingers flew over his controls. Data package sent, Captain. Lisa watched the main screen as the Ravager ships received the transmission. For a moment, nothing happened. Then their formation began to change. The ships started moving closer together like animals gathering for protection. They're scared, Troy said with amazement. They're actually scared. The Elder's voice came through the speakers again. Captain Morgan, we are scanning your ship. As you requested. Your vessel is small, but it is very unusual. Your weapons are designed for fighting in space and on planets. Your engines are much faster than ours. Your crew is trained for combat. We are broadcasting this information to the Ravager fleet, Lisa smiled. Perfect. Now they know they're not fighting helpless Zephyrians. They're fighting Deathworlders. The harsh voice of the Ravager commander came through the speakers again, but this time it sounded uncertain. Human vessel, we have received your data transmission. Your world is very dangerous. Your species is very violent. But you are still only one ship. That's true, Lisa replied. But we're a human ship, and humans don't give up. She turned to her crew. All right, people. Let's show them what happens when you attack someone under human protection. Lisa stood at the center of the bridge and looked at her crew. This is it, people. We're about to try something that has never been done before. We're going to fight 50 ships with one, and we're going to win. How, Captain? Asked Ben. By being human. Marcus, take us into their formation. Fast and low. Marcus Webb's hands moved over the pilot controls, and the New Horizon shot forward like an arrow. The ship dove toward the planet, weaving between the massive Ravager vessels. Warning alarms began to sound from the enemy ships. They're trying to target us, Troy reported, but we're moving too fast and too close to their other ships. They can't get a clean shot. Good, Katie, prepare the first mining charge. Ready, Captain. Lisa watched the main screen as they flew. Past one of the huge Ravager ships. It was so close she could see the details of its black metal hull. Fire! The mining charge shot out from the New Horizon and attached itself to the enemy ship's hull. A few seconds later it exploded. The blast was much bigger than a normal weapon would have made. A huge hole opened in the side of the Ravager vessel, and atmosphere poured out into space. Direct hit, Troy said with excitement. That ship is badly damaged. The Ravager commander's voice came through the speakers, angry and confused. What was that weapon? Our sensors show it was mining equipment, Lisa smiled. That's right. We use those charges to break apart asteroids. They work pretty well on ships, too. Impossible. Mining equipment cannot be used as weapons. You've never fought humans before. We can turn anything into a weapon. Marcus took the ship into a sharp turn, flying between two more Ravager vessels. Captain, they're starting to spread out. They're trying to give themselves room to shoot at us. Let them. Ben, are you monitoring their communications? Yes, Captain. They're panicking. They've never seen tactics like this before. Lisa could hear the fear in the Ravager voices as Ben played their transmissions. They were talking about the strange humans who used mining equipment as weapons and flew their ship like it was alive. Katie, target their communication arrays. If we can blind some of their ships, they'll have trouble coordinating. Understood, Captain. The New Horizon shot past another enemy vessel, and Katie fired a mining charge at its communication tower. The explosion destroyed the array in a shower of sparks and metal. That ship is cut off from the fleet, Ben reported. They can't talk to their commander anymore. Excellent. Marcus, take us toward the planet's moon. The moon, Captain? Trust. The New Horizon flew away from the Ravager fleet toward the small moon that orbited Kepler 442b. The enemy ships followed, but they were too slow to keep up. Troy, scan that moon. What's it made of? Troy worked his sensors. Mostly rock and ice. Captain, some metal deposits. Perfect. Katie, how many mining charges do we have left? 15, Captain. Use 10 of them on the moon. I want you to break it apart. Katie stared at her. Break apart the moon? Captain, that's crazy. Exactly. The Ravagers are expecting normal military tactics. They're not expecting us to weaponize. A moon, Lisa turned to the Elder of the Zephyrians. Elder, we're going to create an asteroid field around your planet. It will make it dangerous for the big Ravager ships to move around. You can do such a thing? Humans have been blowing things up for a very long time. We're good at it. Katie fired the mining charges at different points on the moon's surface. The explosions were huge, and chunks of rock and ice began to break away from the moon and drift toward the planet. It's working, Marcus said with amazement. The moon is coming apart. The Ravager ships that had been following them suddenly found themselves flying through a field of spinning rocks and ice chunks. Their big vessels were not designed for this kind of navigation. Ravager command to all ships, came the panicked voice of their commander. Retreat to safe distance. The humans have destroyed the moon. No, Lisa said into the communication system. We haven't destroyed it. We've improved it. Ben looked up from his station. Captain, the Ravagers are pulling back. They're afraid of the asteroid field. Good. That gives us time for the next part of the plan. Dr. Carter, are you ready? Alex Carter had been working at his science station. Ready, Captain? I've prepared a medical briefing for the Ravager fleet. Medical briefing? I'm going to tell them about Earth diseases. I'm going to make them think the Zephyrian planet is contaminated with dangerous pathogens that only affect non-human species. Lisa grinned. That's brilliant. They'll be afraid to land on the planet. Exactly. Species that evolved on peaceful worlds usually have weak immune systems. The idea of biological warfare will terrify them. Ben opened the channel to the Ravager. Fleet. This is Dr. Carter of the New Horizon to Ravager Command. I have important medical information for your fleet. What kind of medical information? Came the suspicious reply. We've detected dangerous biological agents on the planet's surface. These pathogens are deadly to most alien species. Only humans are immune because we evolved with similar diseases on Earth. There was a long silence. Then the Ravager commander spoke again, and his voice was worried. What kind of pathogens? Alex looked at Lisa and winked. Airborne viruses that attack the nervous system. Bacteria that dissolve metal and organic matter. Fungal spores that can survive in vacuum and infect ship systems. None of it was true, but the Ravagers had no way to know that. They had probably never encountered biological warfare before. We recommend that your fleet maintain a safe distance from the planet until proper decontamination procedures can be implemented. Alex continued. The Ravager ships began moving even farther away from the planet. Lisa could see them on the main screen, clustered together in space like they were afraid to get too close to anything. Captain, Troy said, we've got movement. Some of the smaller Ravager ships are breaking formation. I think they're trying to run. Let them go. Ben, patch me through to their commander. Channel open, Captain. Ravager Command, this is Captain Morgan. Your fleet is in retreat. Your mission has failed. I suggest you leave this system and never come back. One ship, the commander said, but his voice was shaking now. You are still only one ship. That's right, one human ship. And we've stopped your entire fleet. Think about what that means. Lisa walked to the front of the bridge. You came here expecting to fight helpless Zephyrians. Instead, you found humans. We turned your own moon into weapons. We used mining equipment to damage your ships. We created biological hazards that don't even exist. And we did it all with one ship and 25 people. The bridge was quiet as everyone listened to her words. This is what happens when you attack someone under human protection. We don't fight fair. We don't follow your rules. We use everything we can find as a weapon, and we never give up. The Ravager commander was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was different, smaller. What do you want? I want you to stop mining this planet. I want you to leave these people alone. And I want you to think very carefully before you attack anyone else. And if we refuse? Lisa looked at her crew. They were all watching her with pride and determination. These brave people had followed her into impossible odds and found a way to win. Then we'll show you what else humans can do. And trust me, you don't want to find out. The main screen showed the Ravager fleet pulling back even farther from the planet. Some of the ships were already leaving the system entirely. Captain, the Elder's voice came through the speakers, we cannot believe what we are seeing. The Ravagers are retreating. You have saved us? Not yet, Lisa replied. But we're getting there. She turned to her crew. Good work, everyone. But this isn't over yet. We still need to make sure they never come back. Lisa watched the main screen as half of the Ravager fleet began to leave the system. Their ships were moving away from the planet, heading for the edge of space where they could jump to faster-than-light travel. They're running, Troy said with satisfaction. Not all of them, Lisa replied. 25 ships are still here. Ben looked up from his communications station. Captain, the remaining Ravager ships are requesting to talk. Put them through? A different voice came through the speakers this time. It was calmer than the previous commander, but Lisa could still hear uncertainty in it. Human vessel. This is Secondary Commander Vex Korath of the Ravager fleet. Our primary commander has withdrawn with half our ships. We who remain wish to negotiate. Lisa was surprised. Negotiate? A few hours ago you were mining this planet. That was before we understood what we were facing. We have studied your data transmissions. We know about your Deathworld. We know about your species' history. We realize we made a mistake. Dr. Carter looked at Lisa and nodded. Captain, this might be our chance to end this without more fighting. What kind of negotiation did you have in mind? Lisa asked. We wish to understand why you protect these crystal beings. They are not your species. This is not your world. Why do you risk your lives for strangers? Lisa thought about the question. It was something the Ravagers clearly could not understand. Because they asked for help. Because no one should have to face extinction alone. This makes no sense too. U.S., in our experience, species fight only for their own survival. Then you haven't met humans before. The elder of the Zephyrians spoke up from the planet below. Captain Morgan, perhaps we can help with these negotiations. We have been listening to the Ravager communications. We understand their situation. Now, what do you mean? They are nomads. They move from world to world because they have no home. Their original planet was destroyed long ago. They take resources because they have no other way to survive. Lisa looked at Dr. Carter. Is that true? Let me check their ship designs, Alex said, working at his science station. Yes, Captain. These ships are built for long-term space travel. They're not warships or mining vessels. They're colony ships that have been converted. Lisa felt her anger toward the Ravagers begin to change. They were not evil conquerors. They were refugees who had been driven to desperate measures. Secondary. Commander, she said, is it true that you have no homeworld? There was a long pause. Yes, our sun went nova 300 years ago. We escaped in these ships, but we have been wandering space ever since. We take what we need to survive. And you never thought to ask for help? Who would help the Ravagers? We are known throughout this sector as destroyers. No one wants us. Near their worlds, Lisa looked at her crew. She could see the same thoughts in their eyes that were going through her mind. These beings were not monsters. They were homeless and desperate. Elder, she said to the Zephyrians, what if there was another way? What do you mean, Captain? What if instead of taking your resources, the Ravagers could trade for them? What if they could settle somewhere and build instead of just taking? The Elder was quiet for a moment. That is an interesting idea. We have always had more resources than we needed. Our world produces crystals and energy sources that we do not use. Secondary Commander, Lisa said, would your people be willing to stop raiding if you had a steady source of resources? You would do this after we attacked you? If you're willing to change, if you're willing to learn a different way? Dr. Carter stepped forward. Captain, the Zephyrians have incredible technology for growing crystals and managing energy. The Ravagers have ships and engineering skills. They could actually help each other, Lisa nodded. Elder, could your people teach the Ravagers about crystal technology? It is possible. But we would need assurance that they would not attack us again. Secondary Commander, are you willing to learn from the Zephyrians? Are you willing to trade instead of raid? The Ravager was quiet for a long time. Lisa could hear other voices in the background, probably his crew discussing the proposal. Human Captain, he said finally, you offer us something we have not had in 3 centuries. Hope. But why would you do this? We are your enemies. No, you're not. You're people without a home who made bad choices because you saw no other options. Humans understand that. We've been refugees too. Troy looked up from his station. Captain, I'm detecting movement from the planet. The Zephyrians are sending up some kind of transport. Elder, what are you doing? We are sending a delegation to meet with you and the Ravagers. If we are to work together, we should meet face to face. Lisa felt her heart race. This would be the first time humans had met alien beings in person. We'll prepare a meeting room. Over the next few hours, Lisa watched as history was made. The Zephyrian transport docked with the New Horizon, and 3 crystalline beings came. Aboard, they were beautiful, like living sculptures made of blue and silver crystal. They moved gracefully and spoke in musical voices. The Ravagers sent a small ship as well. When their delegation came aboard, Lisa saw that they were very different from the Zephyrians. They were tall and strong, with dark skin and metal implants. They looked like they had been built for survival in harsh conditions. This is amazing, Dr. Carter whispered to Lisa. 3 different species, all evolved on different types of worlds, meeting for the first time. The negotiations took place in the ship's main conference room. Lisa acted as mediator while the Elder and Secondary Commander discussed terms. The Zephyrians offered to share their crystal-growing technology and provide raw materials. The Ravagers offered their engineering skills and protection services. We could build mining stations in asteroid fields, the Secondary Commander said. We could harvest resources without destroying planets. And we could share our knowledge of energy generation, the Elder replied. Your ships could be powered by crystal matrices instead of burning fuel. Lisa watched the 2 alien leaders work together and felt hope growing in her chest. This was better than just stopping a war. This was the beginning of something new. There is one more thing, the Elder said. We want the humans to be part of this alliance. Lisa was surprised. U.S.? Why? Because you showed us that different species can work together. Because you came to help strangers. Because we trust you. The Secondary Commander nodded. The Ravagers agree. You stopped us from making a terrible mistake. You showed us a better way. We would be honored to have the Deathworlders as allies. Lisa looked at her crew. They were all smiling, proud of what they had accomplished. I'll have to ask my government, but I think Earth would be interested in an alliance. 6 months later, Lisa stood on the bridge of the New Horizon as it approached the first joint colony built by humans, Zephyrians, and Ravagers. The colony was beautiful, with crystal spires rising from metal foundations, powered by clean energy, and defended by reformed raiders. Ben looked up from his communication station. Captain, we're receiving a distress call. Lisa felt her heart skip a beat. From where? The Altair system. It's from a species called the Tentheri. They're under attack by something called the Void Hunters. Lisa looked at the colony growing. Larger on the main screen, human children were playing in crystal gardens alongside young Zephyrians and Ravager cubs. It was proof that different species could not just survive together, but thrive. Set course for Altair, she ordered. Maximum speed. Captain, Troy asked, shouldn't we contact the Alliance first? Get backup? Lisa smiled. We are the backup. When someone calls for help, humans answer. And now we're not alone. She turned to address her crew, which now included Zephyrian scientists and Ravager engineers. All hands, this is the captain. We've received a distress call from the Altair system. We're going to help them, just like we helped each other. The ship jumped to faster-than-light speed, racing toward another world in trouble. But this time, they weren't just representing Earth. They were representing the idea that the galaxy could be a place where people helped each other instead of fighting. Lisa looked out at the stars and smiled. The universe was a big, dangerous place, but it was a little less dangerous now that the Deathworlders had become guardians.